eating guzzlers. A touch of sake. Because tonight we're eating Japanese again. Tonight we're going to have Buta Don. Okay? Which is basically a pork dish. You knew that because I said it's Buta Don. Okay? But I need to do a little bit of preparation because really it's pork belly, and unfortunately I couldn't get like a lump of pork belly. Tesco supplied us with some pork belly slices. They're a little bit thick really because you want thin slices. So what I'm going to have to endeavour to do is slice these in half. So before we do anything else, cheers. Nicer than the last sake I had, I think. I'm just going to slice these, and then when they're ready, we'll start preparing. And this is actually quite a quick one tonight, as I actually said to the bishop. All right. So I'm just going to slice these in half, and then I'll come back to you. Well, as it happens, it's nigh on impossible because it's at that annoying thickness that it's really difficult to only manage to slice them in half. So we're going to leave them that thick, but ideally we probably want about half as thick as this. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it into 2 centimetre or 1 centimetre-ish, I suppose, because they're a bit thicker than normal chunks. Okay, like I say, normally it'd be thinner slices, about 2 centimetres big. So we're going to slice them up like that, and then we're going to marinate them. What I did do, by the way, I did trim it. There was a few bits that were just fat. Okay, now you want the fat that's in it, okay, because the fat will help add the flavour to it. But there were some bits that were just along the bottom there that was just nothing but sort of chunks of fat. And in fact, I'm going to take that bit off there, I think. Did sharpen this knife earlier, but I think I blunted it again. So this is a Japanese dish, and it's quite a simple little dish served with a bowl of rice. And it's just basically a sort of semi-sweetish sauce that's cooked in. So apart from the pork belly, you're going to have about 1/4 to half an onion. You want some spring onion to go as decoration. And then essentially it's the ingredients for the marinade, which is some salt, some starch, some potato starch, and some sake. And then that's the marinade, sorry. And then the actual sauce, again, we've got some sake, soy sauce, mirin, some sugar, and garlic. And that's all it is to it, apart from the rice. So it doesn't take very long to cook this one. So I'm going to be going through a lot of this. Actually, I might switch back to the beer, right? Oh, I mean, to the beer. Did I say back? I'll save that sake for another Japanese dish. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wash up, and then we'll prepare the marinade. So, into this bowl, I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put a tablespoon of potato starch. We could use cornstarch. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of sake. Okay. And then we're just going to mix them together. There's not an awful lot of marinade. Okay. It's just really a little quick marinade for the pork. Like I say, we've got the other stuff there for doing the sauce. And so now all we're going to do is we're now just going to put this into the marinade. Come here, come back out. We're just going to add that to it. Just sort of stir it all in, mix it all together, and then this is going to stand for about 10 minutes. Okay. So at which point you can go off and do whatever you like. I can't use chopstick, by the way. I don't know why I'm doing this with chopstick. Can't use bloody things. What we're going to do is just mix that together, put that to one side. You can go off and have a beer, or whatever. Okay, and then once that's sort of had about 10 minutes, we'll start preparing the rest of it. Now, I've already washed some rice. I put it in my microwave rice cooker, and when we come to start actually cooking it, I'll put that in, because it'll probably only take about 15 minutes to cook this, and that's just how long that needs. Well, actually it'll need 20, because you should leave rest it 5. So I'm just going to mix this in, put it to one side, and I'll catch you in about 10. Well, it'll be 10 for me, it'll be bugger all for you. Right, so that's still marinating. Actually, I've given it a lot longer than 10 minutes, and I've been regularly stirring it to mix it all in. What we're going to do now is just thinly slice this onion. Okay, and we're going to just put that to one side, and then I'm going to chop up the spring onion, and that sort of goes on at the end. Now, traditionally, one of the things it might have had on it was green peas. We're not. We're going to use, as we tend to call them, green onion. Okay, sorry, brown onion. No, I'm sorry, no, fuel's down. This is brown onion. They talk about green onion, but actually what they mean by that is spring onion, or what we know in UK spring onion anyway. So that's my onion there chopped, ready to go. And then, like I said, all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop that, and that will be ready to go. So Buta Don is basically translates as pork bowl. So buta, or buta, I don't really know how to pronounce it, to be honest, is pork, Japanese for pork, and don is short for donbure, or donbori, I don't know how you pronounce that either, which means Japanese for bowl. So it literally translates as pork bowl. It was, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a historical dish. Anything with spring onion, you chop it, don't it? Rolls everywhere. Basically, it seemed to start around about the 1930s in a diner. I think it was a northern island, or northern part of Japan. I don't know if Japan is a load of different islands, or. But anyway, it started in one. See, look, it's going bloody everywhere. Come here. It started in one of the northern islands in a diner, city of Obihiro. Again, I probably pronounced that wrong. Okay, and actually, since then, a variety of different sort of restaurants or outlets. I believe there's even, you know, like your McDonald's type thing, where they've got their own spin on it and they have their secret sauce ingredients. You don't know what they are. So anyway, I'll just chop them. So we're just about ready to go, but like I say, that's where it originated from, and it is now, I don't know if you call it a traditional dish, but it's certainly a dish that everybody certainly in that part of the Japan would eat. Okay, so just have a quick little tidy up. We've done all our chopping. So what I'm going to do now, before we start cooking, I'm going to put that in the microwave. Obviously it depends on how you're cooking your rice. In the microwave this can take about 15 minutes, and then we just rest it for 5, and that will be plenty of time for us to start assembling the pork bit. Right, so I've got a small bowl here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some garlic. Probably only want about a decent clove of garlic, but you know what I'm like with my garlic, so I'm probably putting too much in. I should probably get in trouble, like as in, you're not allowed to use that amount of garlic, Buta Don. And this is going to form part of the sauce. Okay. So in goes my garlic. Get out of the way. And then I have here 4 tablespoons of sake. I have 2 tablespoons of mirin. 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then I have a tablespoon. Or is it 2? I thought it was meant to be 2. It don't look like 2, but anyway, that's some sugar. So in that goes, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this together to get the sugar to dissolve. And so we're all ready to start cooking. So you can probably hear the microwave, the rice is cooking. The pork is marinated there. So we're going to start cooking it off, and like I say, essentially once that rice is cooked, this should be cooked and we're ready to eat. So get your wok. We want about a medium heat. Okay. About a tablespoon of oil. Probably put too much in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put then the pork belly into there and start cooking that. And we want to cook that. Now, if it was the thin slices that we intended to do, literally, when it's sort of browned a bit and it's literally starting to fall to bits, you know you're ready to put the rest of it in. Well, I say the rest of it, it's just the onion and the sauce. Because remember, our spring onion is going to go on the top as a little bit of a garnish. Bit posh, this dish got garnish. Garnish. By the way, you might know some on the wine now. Wife said to me I've got to help her drink her wine. I mean, I can't refuse, can I? I've got to do it for the wife. So, in goes that pork. Okay. Let me get not going to faff about with a bloody chopstick. So all we're going to do is we're now just going to cook that, like I say, at a medium heat. Okay, we don't need an awful lot of oil because there's quite a bit of fat in that pork belly, and we're just going to cook that till, like I said, on a medium heat till it starts to lightly brown, and then we'll be ready to add in the next sort of stuff. So it's going to take a little while to do this. All right, like I say, no, it's not like one of these I've got stuff in the oven for a bloody hour or so. Or like my biryani that took about 3. So it's just a matter of giving this the occasional turn over, and there you go. Now I've got some bowls ready, so obviously we can then plate it up and eat it. Well, try to eat it with a little chopstick, but I should probably end up getting a spoon or a fork. Now then, that's obviously this will take a little bit longer to cook than the very thin slices, but it's sort of all coloured that a bit now. So now we're just going to put that onion in there, and we're going to toss that around for a bit, and we now just want to cook that through until that onion softens up. Okay. Now obviously that starch we put in earlier is making it stick a little bit, so we need to quite regularly give it a bit of a stir fry. Okay. But we won't add the sauce until we've sort of cooked that onion through a little bit. So we're getting there, That's all the main ingredients in there, apart from that sauce. Get that out of the way. The rice is resting. It needs to rest every now and again. That's what rice is like for you, isn't it? Just can't cope, can it? He has to have a rest. Typical, isn't it? Alright, well, I'm going to cook the onion through. Now then, that's the onion sort of cooked through. So just give that another little mix. A little bit of sugar left in there, don't worry about. Okay, in that goes. And we're now just going to mix that through, and we're just going to cook that for a few minutes. Obviously we need to get it up to temperature, and then we're just going to cook it through till that sauce starts to thicken. So it'll pick up that starch, and we need to cook that through, get the sauce. Like I said, it's sort of like a bit of a sticky sort of sauce, or should be. Bloody well, alright. So, as soon as that's ready, as soon as that's started to thicken up, I'll serve up the rice. Then we just plonk this on top, sprinkle on a bit of green onion, and we're ready to eat. So, we had our little starter earlier. Okay, we had some sushi that I made. Actually, it was panda sushi. And there will be a video of how to make panda sushi if you fancy giving it a go. Basically rice and tuna. I dare say you could use something else if you don't want rice. If you're vegetarian, I suppose you could use cucumber, although it would make the panda look a bit white and green rather than black and white. But anyway, I'm just going to cook this through. But you know, we're not far off eating now. So I think that's just about done now. So just turn the heat off, and we just, I've already put the rice in the bowl. Okay, so we just add some of that mixture, making sure we get some of the sauce in there. And actually, before I just finish off, let's just try a little bit for you. You can't try to eat with bloody chopstick again. There we go. A little bit chewier, simply because the pork's are thick. Okay, it really would have been better if we could have had much thinner slices of that pork. It was just, I literally couldn't cut it any thinner. So that is your traditional, as you would call it, Buta Don. And all we do, just to finish it, a little sprinkle of these on top. Now, if you want to be really traditional, you could serve it with some pickled radish, takawan, I think it's called, might be wrong there again. Or you just serve it like we are, with some spring onion on top. There you go, Japanese Buta Don.